He's been very successful in
I'd like to call this February 2nd council meeting and work session to order. Everybody please stand for a moment of silence and let's remember all of those who passed away during the month. Please salute the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Dillon, do roll call, please.
Mr. Pezza.
Here.
Ms. Cullen.
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez. Ms. Zill. Mr. Cousin.
Here.
Ms. Figueroa.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Catroci.
Here.
Mr. Di Giuseppe.
Here. So before we get into, there's nobody in the public, so I guess that'll end public participation. Before we get into anything else, Mr. Pezza would like to introduce someone that we're going to be moving forward and hiring. So Greg, I'm turning the meeting over to you.
Let me start by saying that this is, in my opinion, a sign of progress that has been made in this borough. So I think it's a good moment for us. Over the last couple of years, a number of us, Lorraine, Brian, Lee, myself, and then of course with the support of the rest of council, have really tried to invest our time and energy in rebuilding a rec program that before we were here had fallen by the wayside for quite some time. And with that in mind, we got some active volunteers that really dedicated a lot of time and effort. And I first want to re-recognize them that we have done a number of times from the beginning to the end of what we're continuing to try to do and build the rec program. So as we move forward with what we're going to discuss tonight, I just want to again thank those members of the rec board that will still be relying on heavily for what they've done to get this rec program to where it needs to be. But in the meantime, we have decided as a council over the last couple of months that we're going to be doing a lot of projects to upgrade a lot of our parks and recreation facilities. Going to do a lot of things for kids, a lot of things for seniors. And it just seemed to be a right time for us to bring someone on who is a professional in that regard. We're a small town, we're 1 square mile. I don't think we're in a place just yet where we can, I guess, support at this moment a full-time rec director, although that might be something we eventually try to move toward. But with all of these upgrades and with all of these programs that we're really trying to continue to grow, we thought it might be time to bring someone on board who is a professional that could be our representative to both the school district. Mr. Poplawski is obviously the athletic director over at the high school, maybe kind of his counterpart here for the borough. Also someone that can act as a liaison and listen to what it is that the rec board has to say and the advice that they might have to give on what we're going to be doing, and then ultimately come to council and say, you know, we've got some ideas and some plans, and we'll give this person the go-ahead. So there's a gentleman that I knew through basketball, to be honest. I was the director. I am the director of basketball at St. Mark's in town. Brian is the director of basketball at St. Ephraim's in Ben Salem. We struck up a relationship that way, and I got to know him a bit. And he has worked as a assistant rec director in many big municipalities. He currently works 4 days a week in East Norriton. His name is Brian Morris, and Brian is the assistant director of recreation in East Norriton. And he works 4 days a week, and he has Fridays available. So as we discussed further, I brought the idea to council that maybe since we have a professional who is available 1 day a week, that we could bring him on board and pay him an hourly rate, which should I be mentioning what that is tonight or no? Okay, so pay him an hourly rate and put some parameters into what it is we're looking to do, and bring Brian on board to help us continue to professionalize and to streamline what it is we're doing with our borough rec program. And Brian has been in this game for a long time. I would like to stress, before we bring Brian up to introduce himself and a little bit about what he's done and what he knows. This is in no way an uprooting of anything that currently exists when it comes to the borough programs. We have built much with the support of Brian and Heather, a really nice basketball program. Brian will be there simply to support them and to help them in any way that they need help. With the help of Tyree and Harold, we've built a very effective flag football program. Brian is well aware that we're very happy with that program, and that, again, he's just there to support and help grow that. And then, of course, with Jose and Jose, father and son, we've built a very successful soccer program. And again, Brian is aware that we're very happy with that and that we want to continue down that path and just continue to support and grow it. So we thought as a professional, he'd be able to help streamline any of just the logistics of those programs, any of the registration issues we may or may not have, and that we also just have a presence in the office once a week on Fridays, with some exceptions, which we'll let everyone know, that Brian will be here serving as a part-time rec director for us and helping build those programs, and then really focusing on any other things that we want to do. Particularly, we've been discussing a lot about what we can do for seniors as well. So right now, the idea is take those three programs, work with baseball. We all know Little League's a little bit of a different situation because it kind of operates in its own realm. But take those three programs, support them, make them better, continue to work with the people that have invested a lot of time and energy there, and then, you know, think outside the box, think of some new ideas, and then have a professional presence here for us on Fridays with the rec program. So I'm going to introduce to you guys, his name is Brian Morris. Brian is in the crowd tonight, and Brian's just going to tell us a little bit about himself and you know, where he's been and what he's done and some of the ideas he might have. Yeah, you won't hear it, like, it won't be amplified, they'll hear it at home. Yeah.
Green light's on, correct?
Here's my go-to voice on Wow. First and foremost, I want to thank Ralph and Greg for giving me the opportunity to come speak with you guys tonight and to be a part of the borough.
Hello?
Okay, you're on.
Hi. First and foremost, again, I want to thank Ralph and Greg for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this program. I realized my daughter plays at St. Ephraim, so we've played on a lot of the fields. We've played at St. Mark's, and I love this area. I'm originally from Roxborough, born and raised. I moved up here 15 years ago with my wife. I live in Ben Salem, and when I found I had the opportunity to work at Bristol Township, which was great. I loved my time there. I got to venture over here a little bit more to a lot of the events that were run and a lot of the different sports programs, and I was just severely impressed with the opportunities that you guys provide for young people, and I know that there's great leadership right now in that role. When I met with Greg, the goal was just trying to help facilitate some things, and I'm big on getting ideas. So I look forward to working with you, Brian, and the opportunity to see what we do with basketball and some of those other programs. I love the idea of not coming in and trying to reinvent the wheel and do things like that. I think it's more or less just suggestions and working together. I'm big on that. One of the things that I take pride in is when it comes to building programs is working with the people that have really started those programs and try to take them to the next level to see what we want to do. Whether it's tournaments or summer camps or different things like that down the road as you try and build those programs. And I've been pretty successful with that, but I'm a firm believer of that the team concept is really important, and it takes a village. It takes more than one person to come in and just try and take over and do different things. So I'm happy to have the opportunity to work with the different sports programs that we have, and I'm happy for the opportunity. One of the things that I love about being an assistant director and being involved in Parks and Recs is the seniors. And we had a great senior center. I'm still very, very close with the people over at Bristol, and we have a great program up in East Norton. One of the things we started 6 years ago when I was there was a bingo program, and I remember being in a small clubhouse with 30 people. We now have 100 people, 80 to 100 people twice a month in a gym running a bingo program. We've done different bus trips, we've done card clubs, different things to help them and get them out and facilitate things, different health programs, yogas and things like that, dance classes. They're really important, and I think the elderly people are important too. And I just look forward to, down the road, hopefully getting the opportunity to do some things with them as well. I am a sports person. I've been involved in sports since I was 14 years old. I'm a former high school and college girls basketball coach. I've coached at multiple levels, Division 2 and 3, and I've been around sports all my life. And one of the things that I take pride in is trying to help young people not only become better athletes, but become better people. And I think looking around this room and getting a chance to meet some of the people and seeing some of the programs, obviously I know Lee and I've watched his kids play, and I think you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. So I just thank you guys for the opportunity to be a part of the borough, and I look forward to meeting other people and seeing what we can kind of do to try to build the programs up and make them as even more successful. I know when I talked to Ralph and Greg, one of the things that I loved about working in Bristol was National Night Out. We had, my first year there, we had 800 people. By the time I left, we had over 3,000 people at our National Night Out. Was that because of Brian Morris? Absolutely not. That was because of the people I had around me and how we built it. We went from 1,500 people at Community Fall Fest to over 5,000 people my last year there. There's so many different things you can do when you have a team. And I think if we work together and have that concept, I think it'll be a great environment. And I look to you guys. I'm a guy who asks a lot of questions, so I hope that doesn't bother anyone, because I think the more questions you ask, you work together and you can build things. So thank you guys for the opportunity. I look forward to getting started.
So, again, when me and Greg first met with Brian and we laid out our vision and hopefully council's vision was, I think the big thing is to have you here on a Friday. We're going to set you up probably in a community room. We'll work all through them logistics, but it'd be nice that we could send Plobosky here. We could send Stacy here from baseball. Brian could sit down with him, and Heather and other people just to get through the sports. But we definitely want to put a senior focus on what we're doing. And I like the fact that you did. We did a, Herbie, you're back already? Your phone's gone off.
That's mine now.
I like the fact that we talked about the New York bus trip. We talked about a casino trip. We talked about different things for seniors.
Sure.
So, you got to crawl before you walk. So
Sure, absolutely.
we'll get there. And we're glad to have you on board. And hopefully it works out for everybody. There's no contract with this. It's a hourly rate, and we'll see what happens. Any questions for Brian?
No, thank you, Brian. We're
Thanks,
excited to
thank you.
have you. We're excited
Thank
to
you.
have you
We'll
here.
be in touch next week after we make it official meeting.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Brian. Okay, Herbie, welcome back, buddy.
Thank you.
Glad you're feeling better.
Yeah,
So do you have anything, or?
just, we're still,
Yeah, you-
partnered with the, American Red Cross provides, free smoke detectors, to residents in the borough. We've started that program. We've installed it on 20 or 30 so far. I think there's some more to go. We're also in the process of setting up a, addiction, to commitment to training. It's a 4-hour program that's, provided by a grant, and that'll be for all first responders that want to attend that program. It's a 4-hour program, and any of the emergency medical people, the EMTs, paramedics will get 4 continuing education credits out of that program. So we're setting that up. That'll probably be 1 day next month and 1 day in March.
Good. Any questions for Herbie? AJ? Have anything?
Yeah, so I'm sure I blew everybody's phones up during the snowstorm. Hopefully the updates were helpful. A couple of things, the fire department's out currently trying to undig some hydrants. If we could have participation from the neighbors, if you have a buried hydrant in your block, if you could help us out. There's a lot of hydrants in town that are still buried, and we're trying to get to them, but we could use some help. Just a reminder, the ice, and the police went to the canal and the river today for people on the ice. The ice is not stable. Do not go on the ice. We don't have to fish you out of either the river or the canal. And that's all I have.
Any questions for AJ?
Thank you, AJ.
Anything there?
I just have something for Mr. Dillon, and I'll follow it up with an email. 647 Ray Street. I think last year they requested an autistic child sign, and they put up a children at play sign instead. I'd like to have the autistic sign out there, because there's a greater sense of awareness you have to have when there's an autistic child as opposed to just children.
I'm sure we can get one made, right?
I'll shoot.
We make our signs down at the yard, but I'm sure we can make one or buy one.
That's all. Oh, and thank the council again today for that meeting we had. I think very fruitful.
Thank you. Chief, do you have anything? Moving along tonight. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about the snowstorm since AJ, I'll tailor on to what you said. So first of all, we talked prior to the snowstorm about alleys. And I think we did an outstanding job with this snowstorm because we're dealing with ice, we're dealing with cold weather, we're dealing with blizzard conditions at some point. And I think the guys did a great job. There were two alleys that we know there was a problem with. One behind Pond Street on Jefferson Avenue. And we found out what happened there was somebody was parked in the alley and the snow plow went up. It's between the older homes and the new homes on Pond across from the Jefferson. Went up, they could do half, they couldn't do the other half because of the car. I don't know whose car it was. This is what the report that came into the borough with Jim and Kevin, because through this whole storm, me and Jim met with Kevin numerous times about manpower. What do we need? Do we need to bring outside agencies in? And he said there was a problem there. So we just want everybody at home to understand that in the future, any cars that are blocking the snow plows from plowing will be towed. Whether you're in an alley or no matter where you are, because it's also, if there's a fire or we need to get back there, we can. So there was an alley there, and I think Kevin said one was on Spring Street, or not Spring, off of Mansion. There was a car parked in the alley and they couldn't push the snow. So besides them two issues that we know of, everything else went good. Since the snowstorm stopped, we've been removing snow. We're putting it in trucks. We're dumping it down at the ball field, down at the river, in different locations of town. It's not going to go away that quick because the temperatures are now, again, this weekend, going to be in single digits. So we're dealing with blocks of ice. Usually when you get snow, a couple days later, it starts to melt and disappears eventually. The whole month of February looks like it's going to be cold, below normal conditions. So we brought in more help today because our borough guys are doing the best they can. Right now, we're trying to just open up streets. So if you go up a street and you got to turn right or left, you got a mound on each side from the plow. We're trying to clear them mounds out. And then we're going to actually filter in to some of the side streets. It's supposed to be nice again tomorrow. They'll get more melting and hopefully that works. Our public works guys also responded to EMS calls, am I right, AJ? They went out, if there was a call for a squad during that snow, they went out and started plowing the streets so that the ambulance can get down there, or police vehicles can get down there. So although people are talking about alleys, like I said, we need to make sure our streets are safe to get to people first. So,
Just for the record, I dispatched Public Works to 4 emergencies during this month.
4, right. So it shows you what we're doing. Like, you know, the frustrating part with the whole thing is our guys take pride in what they do, and they do a great job for the crew, for the small amount of people we have. And when you're plowing 12, 14 hours straight, some of these, mostly all of them, put over 100 miles on their truck during that storm. Now think about in a 1 square mile town, putting over 100 miles plowing, and try to go down these side streets with an 8-foot plow. Cars are parked, take it street in Harriman or somewhere. They're barely getting down the street to begin with when it's not snowing. And then you're bouncing, and when you're throwing snow back in the street, it's causing a major problem for these trucks because the plow's bouncing and you're gonna slide into a car. So, I mean, that's a major issue. If we could stop, I know everybody says, where do you put it? And we understand it's a problem, but if you could just throw it on the side, on the sidewalk, somewhere to move it. Not in the street. So I met, before the storm, I had a meeting here, and then we met with Public Works, telling them if they needed to sleep, go home, take a break, come back in. And they were all gung-ho over this, you know, they want to make sure it's right. The disappointing part of this whole thing is the people that are ungrateful. I don't call them complainers, because you always got the complainers, but there are people that are ungrateful, that these don't realize what these guys are doing. You guys answer calls in a blizzard. You know, the fire people, the police, you're out there trying to get somebody. I mean, does everything have to be like not positive? It got to be negative? So no matter what these guys do, they're unhappy, they take that to heart. And this council's here, we support them. So, you know, either when you see them, thank them. And we get hundreds of people, am I right, Jim? We got so many people text or call the borough or stop the borough crew, say, look, we made you something. Here, take this, put it in your truck, here's soup, here's coffee. So we do have a lot of good people in town, and that 1% or the ungrateful people that I call them, it's sad, it really is. But this won't be the last storm, and hopefully we could always, you know, make it better, but every storm is different. Just like trash pickup. Saturday, when Scarra didn't do anything Monday, they moved us to Wednesday. They came out and did the best they can. They said, we'll be back Saturday. Saturday, they were getting stuck going down some streets, and they actually were digging out, the trash guys were trying to dig out cars so people can pull their car out so they can get down the street. I think, which street couldn't they get down? There was one street in Harriman that they just couldn't. One street, I think, they were unsuccessful. Hayes or one of them. But anyway, I mean, give them a break. Give these people a break. They're out there picking up. The mound's this high. The trash cans are behind it. They're stepping over. Give the guys a break. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being nice. I mean, why does it always have to be, my trash wasn't picked up, my sidewalk wasn't done, you plowed me in, the plow, where do you want them to put it? They're going down the street with an 8-foot plow on a street that's maybe 10 feet wide. Think about it. You should get in the plow and drive with them guys to see how hard it is. They got 2 orange things on the plow trying to direct them down the street. And like AJ said, 4 calls that they went out on, you know, God forbid it could have been somebody's family member that really needed them. So I think you want to talk about different things. These guys deserve to be treated better. They're out there, you know, breaking their ass and playing words. And our head guy, and everybody knows Kevin Everett, was supposed to go get a treatment on Monday. And he was so concerned about the borough, he didn't even go get his treatment, which was ridiculous. He missed his treatment that he needed on Monday. So he's going this week. So again, there's nothing wrong with telling these guys thanks when you see them. All right. I think we do the best we can, so.
I'd like to say something to that. I got a call on the first snowstorm telling me that they didn't get to a certain area because we don't like somebody. And I don't ever want to hear that again, because that was untrue. We had a snowstorm. It was a bad snowstorm, and we just didn't get to this area in time for the people to be happy. We did get there. We will get there. Don't say we don't like somebody and that's why we're not plowing your area. Very upsetting to me.
And one more thing for all the geniuses at home. Salt doesn't activate in certain temperatures. So you can't put salt down on streets that it's just not activating. So you're just throwing it down for no reason. and there's a shortage of salt, you can't, the ship was stuck upriver. Nobody can get salt right now except PennDOT and the Turnpike. Thank you. So there's ships that are stuck in ice that we can't even get salt into the area. The county, everybody's trying to find salt right now. So there's a major problem with that. So
I believe PennDOT actually seized the salt, right?
yeah, anything coming in, they took. But I'm saying, if they're saying, well, why is I haven't seen a salt truck out. Well, the salt truck's not gonna do anything. You can throw all the salt you want there, it's just like we might as well throw sand or cinders right now. So, again, we know what we're not, I don't mean me, we know how to handle this stuff. We got experts, we got emergency management, we got fire, we got police, we're aware, and we got one of the best managers in Bucks County. So we're aware of what's going on, and there's nothing we can do to stop the complainers, but these guys are doing the best they can. Okay, with that, Frank, you don't have anything? Lee, you have anything? Louis?
I just wanted to thank Sally Bellaspica, our zoning officer, and Lynn Bush. They've been working on the zoning ordinance, and I know they've met with Jeff Garden and Barbara from the zoning board solicitor, and they've really done a good job to try to eliminate some problems in town, and they've been working very hard on it. I think they deserve a thanks from the Borough Council.
Maria?
Excuse me. I just want to thank the guys for the plow. They did an excellent job. And also, I want to remind everyone that during a snowstorm, people are actually fighting over parking spots. So, with that being said, if you did not shovel, have the respect that someone else took the time to shovel out their car. And don't park there, don't take their spot. It was a lot of snow, so, everyone works together. So that's basically it. I just wanna, just have some respect. If you didn't shovel the spot, don't park there.
I agree. Brian? Greg?
Nothing beyond what we
Lorraine?
discussed.
I just wanted to say, I called to check on the crew when they were out working, and I talked to Kevin Everett, and he said that like Calm Waters gave them coffee. Dawn Rigney from Harriman made food for them, like Ralph had said. And I'm sure there's more people that gave them stuff, but that's who I knew as of that, the time I called him. And he did tell me that he wasn't going to go for his treatment, and I said that's ridiculous, But this is how dedicated our people are, and like Ralph said, be thankful. And most of you are thankful, because we've learned that throughout the time that's gone by. So, but I'd like to thank them personally. They did a fantastic job.
Okay, so we talked about snow a lot. So tomorrow you'll probably see there's trucks, triaxles out there. There's big machinery out there. They cleared Farragut Avenue today. Some of the businesses paid these people to clear Farragut Avenue. I think we towed a truck off of Farragut today, Chief.
Yes.
The tractor trailer, somebody just parked it there for 3 days. It was blocking traffic. It was a nightmare. So we're getting there. We're hoping to get the main roads and the openings done. And then we're probably going to go down some of the side streets. If there's a shot, we could plow. The only thing we don't want to do is plow, and everybody says, oh, you plowed my driveway back in. So it's a catch-22. We're doing the best we can. You have anything?
Just a reminder, in terms of item 3 on the agenda, if you want to move forward The motion really should read, authorize advertising of an ordinance to repeal the responsible contractors ordinance. So that would be on your agenda in March because it has to be advertised and it'll take a little while.
Bless you.
And number two, on your desk was a proposed resolution that has to be adopted this evening because the deadline is the 6th to apply for a grant to $500,000 grant from the county for community development funds to do additional handicap curb ramps.
So that needs to be, one of us needs to make a motion to
Approve it.
approve that tonight, right?
Tonight, please.
So it's a $500,000 community grant.
Community development grant application resolution. It's on your desk there. Lee.
Yeah, I got it. I'm ready on it right
Okay. Brendan, you have anything?
Yes, noting for inclusion in the meeting minutes that council met in executive session before the regular meeting to discuss the latest updates related to the ongoing police contract labor negotiations. That's all.
Okay. Anybody else have it? Chief, you have anything? We're good? Good? Okay, so we can get into our regular meeting. There's nobody here in the public. So item 2 on the agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the payment of $304,650 to the American Athletic Courts Incorporated for the Bristol Borough Track Improvement per recommendation of Amanda Fuller of Gilmore and Associates Incorporated.
Second by Ms. Cullen. Questions or comments?
I would just like to point out that this has been an ongoing project of which the original, the cost of which exceeds $700,000. From the beginning to end, we took on some help for the school district, and most of these funds are coming from grants, but there is an additional $200,000 that we have agreed to split with the school district. So we will be coming out of pocket as a borough for $100,000, and the school district will also be coming out for $100,000. And I would also like to stress that we, the borough, are actually going to be fronting the $100,000 for the school district and have them pay us over the course of 5 years back interest-free, all of which we're happy to do. Just stressing that there's a lot of cooperation going on between both us and the school board, of which we are very excited with, and particularly with, noting that Brian was here this evening, Brian Morris, about how much we are dedicated to making sure the kids of this town have all the facilities and the opportunities that they need, and we appreciate the school district working with us in a reciprocal fashion, and we're happy to do it.
Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the advertising to consider repealing Chapter 1, Part 15, Responsible Contractor Ordinance, to vote on next month.
Second by Mrs. Figueroa. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 4.
Mr. President, I'd like to approve the purchase of a Case 580 SN backhoe for Bristol Borough Public Works in the amount of $165,741.24 from Eagle Power and Equipment. Quoted date is 5/13/2025.
Second by Mr. Cousin. Questions or comments? The only thing I would like to comment on is this machine will definitely help in days like today because we have our backhoe was running all day today and our Bobcats. Freddie Cullen from Bristol Borough School District was working with us today. He was driving the backhoe and loading trucks. So we're just fortunate, like Greg said, to have this working relationship. And if we had another backhoe, our guys can drive it also. So we're not going to sell the old backhoe. We're keeping it just for stuff like today. And this stuff, all these motions here are being paid through grants. There's no tax dollars going into this. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 5.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of fire hoses and equipment for the Bristol Borough Fire Department in the amount of $77,064.70 per quotes from MES dated 8/20/25 and Continental Fire and Safety dated 7/15/25.
Second by Mr. Catroci. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 6.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a Ranger Crew XD 1500 North Star Edition Premium UTV for Bristol Borough Emergency Management from Polaris Sales Incorporated per quote dated 1/26/26 in the amount of $78,195.38.
Second by Mrs. Cullen. Questions or comments? This is something that AJ really pushed for. He said the fire department really needs this vehicle for emergency, so you got your truck, buddy.
We're giving you an A+.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 7.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of a 2026 Dodge Durango Pursuit AWD vehicle for Bristol Borough Police Department in the amount of $76,940.28 per Fred Bean's government sale quote dated 8/6/25 and SKD Tyrone's Emergency Vehicle Upfitting Incorporated quote dated 7/28/25.
Second by Ms. Figueroa. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve installation of 6 streetlights at Mill and Radcliffe Streets. Labor and materials, $66,723 per quote from Turtle dated 9/3/25, RNS General Contractors Incorporated dated 8/25/25, and G&G Electrical Construction LLC dated 9/23/25.
Second by Mr. Catroci. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I would just like to say, I know we talked earlier about thanking people. If you guys run into anybody on the redevelopment authority, all these grants were possible through the RDA. If you see anybody on the board, I mean, please maybe say thanks. Resolution for the curb grant.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. So, do we need to suspend the rules? Okay. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to advertise a resolution of the Borough of Bristol, Bucks County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, authorizing the submission of a community development block grant application for certain design and construction of accessible curb ramps, authorizing the proper officers of the borough to sign such applications and to submit such applications and information as may be required, and to take all such other acts as may be necessary to complete the application for CDBG funding.
Second by Mr. Catroci. Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Does anybody have anything else? Brendan, you have anything?
No, thank you.
Nice to have you here tonight.
Nice
It's
to be
always
here.
a pleasure.
Ready?
What's that?
Are we ready?
Oh,
To
Can
adjourn.
I get a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second by Ms. Figueroa.